So when you see, first of all, just a quick flashback to the last series, when you see Leon set a record for points in a 5-game series, assumedly going through something that keeps him off the ice for practice, I mean, what can you say about his performance?
Yeah, he obviously, he was a big reason, we had the success we did in that series, and specifically that last game. And, when, he brings so much to the table, so he's able to kind of reconfigure his game to be effective out there, and, he's done a phenomenal job.
You gave us a great soundbite when you guys qualified for the playoffs, when you said it's going to be juicy. Now that it's 2 rounds in, plus you've had the personal news of an addition to the family. I mean, how are you feeling personally about this ride?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a big week for my family, having my son, but it's obviously been great with the team success we've had to couple those two things. It's been a real enjoyable last couple of weeks, and we just want to make sure that we do everything in our power to keep this thing going.
Iverson, is that named for the basketball player, or is it somebody else?
You know what? Allen Iverson was a player of all time, and I find boys' names to be really tough to come up with. You want something a little different, a little unique, not super generic. So me and my girlfriend thought Iverson was it, and we were happy with that.
Question, going to play in Denver, is it really a issue with the thinner air there, or no, do we make too much of it?
I remember my first time playing there and hearing about it, and quickly I found out there it's pretty accurate. It does take a little bit of time to get adjusted to, but I think that might have just been because it was my first game there. But you feel it a little bit. I think it's important to have short shifts, especially in the first period, and get things going. But we'll be there a couple days early, so that shouldn't be any of an issue.
And moving back and forth from Connor's line to Nuge's line, is there much difference?
Well, there's obviously a difference. I think Nuge and Connor are different players, obviously, but I think there's great opportunity to have success with both guys, and I think Nuge has really been playing well of late and has scored some big goals for our group, and I'm excited to play with him and Yamo.
One last question. They've got some high-octane players, too, more than Calgary, probably. Are you interested to see how that turns out? You've got lots of offense, and they've got lots of offense. Are you anticipating more 5-4 games, or?
You know what? I think obviously the postseason's a little different than the regular season, but in the games I've been a part of that we've played them, they've actually been pretty low scoring. You go back to that shootout loss. I think it was 1-1 going into a shootout, and so as much skill as there is in this series, I think both teams realize that checking is going to be a key component to having success.
Sorry.
You said last question. You still going?
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Hey, sorry, Daniel. You can wait too. All right, Evander, there's very few players today that do what you do. 15 years ago when you came in, there might have been a few more, 13 years ago. Just a thought on, everybody looked at the switch the other night. You ended up going against Matthew Tkachuk. He was quite quiet during the course of the series. Is there something to be said about the understated nature of gamesmanship that occurs in a playoff series in terms of the way messages can get delivered, sort of thing?
I think so. I think you look at teams that have had success. You look at Tampa; they do a lot of message sending in different ways. They're viewed as a skilled team, but they have a lot of different types of players, and I think usually successful teams, they have a nice mix of different skill sets. And when you go up against top guys and you play a lot of minutes, you want to leave an impression each and every game, and I think we did a good job of that in Calgary, knowing the type of team they were. And I think that can have an effect on the opposition, yes.
I'll now send you to Daniel, who will undoubtedly ask a better question than I just did.
I'll try. We saw and we heard from Calgary over and over in that series that they were getting beaten by one player, and that in the end they did get beat by one player. I'm just curious what you thought of those consistent comments from that team.
I don't really have any thoughts on that. I think that's great. Obviously, that's how they felt. I think there were some phenomenal performances by a lot of guys on our group. Obviously, Connor leading the way. There's no question about that. But yeah, I mean, 20 versus 1, I guess that's not very good.
Well, I mean, what does it say, I guess, about your group when the guy who isn't, quote unquote, your best player gets 17 points in the series? I mean, there's some, I guess as you're talking about, there are some different guys that are stepping up.
Yeah, I think we've kind of moved on from that series and focused on Colorado. We got a lot of great performances from a lot of guys in that series. To lose the first game and then win 4 straight, you're going to need all 22 guys on the ice there, and we did a great job of sticking with it and battling back through some adversity, and now we got a real tough test in Colorado.
Evander, you guys started the first series at home, you started the second series on the road. Is there, I guess, just a mindset, whether you're starting at home or on the road? On the road, you get 2 games, you get a chance to feel your way in, and you're going in trying to steal a game as opposed to trying to hold serve, I guess, as they say.
Yeah, I think, I don't mind starting on the road. I think, like you said, it's the mindset and the attitude is, you want to steal home ice. It starts in game 1. I don't think we're going to be feeling our way into the series, or else we're going to get dominated. So, we're going to have to be ready for Tuesday night, and that's going to be a big test. We know they come out hard, especially in their building, and they come out skating. We're going to have our skating legs come game 1.
Thanks.
Evander, is there any advantage having seen Colorado 3 times as recently as you guys have in terms of familiarity of opponent and what you might anticipate from them? I know it's about you guys in particular, but also in a series, you do have to acknowledge what the other team is doing. Does that familiarity help at all?
Yeah, I think so. We played them, like you said, 3 times down the stretch there. From my memory, all 3 games were extremely competitive, tight games, fast pace. So I think we have a comfort level with that. Personally, I've played a couple series against them and know what that's like to play against them in the playoffs. So I think there's a familiarity with both teams. I think it's going to be a little different this time around, but I think we're all excited.
You also obviously, played them 3 years ago when they were at a different stage of their development. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about that in terms of any experience you might be able to impart to your teammates of the fact that it hurts the deeper you go when you don't get it done. And I imagine that's part of your motivation in this series.
Yeah, the one thing I learned going to the conference finals a few years ago was you have to have some luck. It's hard to stay healthy. We went 7-game series first round, 7-game series second round, and 2 kind of the first one being a bit of a war. So, I think health is so important at this time of the year, and to be able to get some rest, I think really is going to help our group. And, we're relatively healthy for the most part, and I think that can bode well. I go back 3 years ago, I think we had 5 of our top 6 forwards missing in game 6 of the conference final. It's tough to win when you have those many guys out.
Can you speak to the way Nazem Kadri plays? He's unusual, as you are unusual in today's NHL.
Yeah, he plays a hard game. Has some skill through the middle of the ice, and looks to provide some secondary scoring for that group.
What were you thinking when he took all that grief after he ran the goalie with the...
You know what? I didn't see a whole lot, obviously, heard about it. And obviously, we all know that's unacceptable. I've been through that as well many times in my career. His was a little bit more public, obviously, this time around, but it's unacceptable and it's unfortunate. And, I think, I hope anyways, it was handled the right way.
One last thing on Mike Smith. He seems like the ultimate battler. Now he's through 2 rounds. What do you see from him? And no matter, he's not the quietest goalie in the league like Carey Price or whoever else is playing, What do you see from him?
I mean, you kind of just said it. He battles, he competes, he doesn't get fazed by the moment. You know, if he has maybe not his best one night, he comes back with his best the very next, and you know, that's so important as any position on the ice, but especially a goaltender. And you know, I think his mentality and how he approaches his own personal game is bodes really well for him and specifically his position.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.